Hi everyone, it's Ali and welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna be doing another of my hobbies, which is crochet. So we're gonna be making this cute, I don't know what it's called, but this cute kind of like squid. So I'm gonna show you how to make it A to Z because I made this pattern and I think it's adorable. So let's get started. For this crochet project, you're gonna be needing a 5mm crochet hook, a darning needle, but if you don't have it, don't worry, you don't absolutely need to have it, some scissors, a stitch marker, and some 6 super bulky chenille yarn. So that's what we're gonna be using today. So let's get started. So you're first gonna start with a magic ring. What I like to do is just chain 2 and use the first chain as a magic ring. So you're just gonna do a slip stitch. Well, yeah, there we go. And then you're gonna chain 1, 2, and then you're gonna go in that first little loop and you're gonna do 6 single crochet into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there might be a little hole in the middle of your magic ring. You just tighten it up by pulling the other end. Now we're gonna be doing for this round 6 increases in each of those single crochet. So that means 2 single crochet in each single crochet. So let's do the first one. 1, 2. So that's your first one. 1, 2. So that's your second one. 1, 2. So that's your third one. 1, 2. So that's your third one. Then a fourth one. 1, 2. So that's your fourth one. 1, 2. That's your fifth one. And then those 2 last one, which is your 6th one. So this should be how your magic ring is now looking. So there's double the stitches now that we've done increases. So now we're gonna be doing something pretty similar, except we're gonna do in one stitch, we're gonna do 1 single crochet, and then we're gonna do 2 single crochet in the next one 6 times. So that means you're gonna be doing 1 single crochet, 1 increase 6 times. So you start with the first one, so 1 single crochet in that one, and in the next stitch you're just gonna do 2. 1, 2. And then you repeat that 6 more times all around your loop. Well, your circle. 1, 2. So that's your second one. 1. That's your second one. Now your third one, increase. So when we increase, we do 2 single crochet in that same stitch. So let's repeat that another time. And then we're gonna have 3 left to do. Okay, so now we have 3 left to do. 1 in increase, so you do 2 of these, then 1, and an increase, and then we have one last one to do to finish this row. So 1 single crochet, okay, and then you do 1 increase. Good job. Okay, so now for another 2 rounds, what we're going to be doing is doing single crochet around. So to just keep us from getting like mistaken, we're going to put this stitch marker in our loop we have on the hook, and then we're just going to go around until we meet this stitch marker. Keep going. And if your works starts folding up, you can just fold it back down so it doesn't affect the shape of the project. Okay, so now we've met the stitch marker, so we're gonna take it and hook it up to the next round. So on the loop on your hook, you're just gonna remove it and put it back on the loop, and we're gonna do another round of single crochet around. Okay, so now that we've met our little stitch marker, we can remove it. You can put it back if you want to keep it as a marker for the rest of your project, but for now we don't need it. So we're gonna put it aside. So now what we're gonna do is 1 single crochet decrease all around. So I'm gonna show you how to do a decrease. So it's very simple, but we're gonna start with, in the next stitch, we're gonna do just a regular single crochet. And then we're just gonna insert our hook in the next 2 loops. Then we're gonna bring some yarn, insert it in the other stitch right next to it, grab some yarn, and then we're just gonna grab some yarn and pull it through the whole 3 loops. And we're gonna repeat that 6 more times. So we're gonna do that all around. So 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, that's your second one. 1 single crochet, 1 decrease. This is your third one. 1 single crochet, 1 decrease. Those are invisible decreases, by the way. That's your fourth one. And then 1 single crochet, 1 decrease. That's your fifth one. And then 1 last one. 1 single crochet, 1 decrease. I do believe that I think I'm missing one. I'm not sure. I'm gonna do an extra one just because I think I might have missed one. It doesn't really matter though. If you miss one, you miss one. It's not a big deal. Okay, so that's where we're at. So it's gonna look like this, like a little shroom head, you know? So now we're gonna be doing 2 more decreases just because I need it to be a little smaller. So 1, 2. Those are optional, but I do recommend you do them because it looks better and more and smaller like when you do the rest of it. So now we're gonna put our stitch marker here and we're gonna single crochet around again for 3 rounds. So we're gonna meet this little stitch marker over here, then we can switch it to do the 2 next rounds of single crochet around. Okay, so now you should be about here with your little squid after the 3 single crochet rounds. So now we're gonna get our stuffing and stuff the head lightly. You'll need about a little bit more than this, but about this much. Make sure you put enough, because even though we stuff it just a little lightly, it's fun to have somewhat of a sturdy beginning. But don't stuff it too far, because we're gonna put some safety eyes after this. Okay, so now it should look like this. So we're gonna be putting on some 12mm safety eyes. So those are about that big. So we're gonna need 2. And we're gonna use backings, obviously. You can also do embroidered eyes if you feel like it. It's completely your choice. So we're gonna insert them about here. So the second to last round, probably. So around like this. So if we base ourselves off this one, it's about like the same distance we're trying to do. So 1 to 2 stitches apart. I'm gonna put mine here. Okay. So there we go. Now for the next round, let's put our hook back in. For the next round, we're gonna be single crocheting another round. Then we're gonna be doing the tentacles. Okay, so now that we have done this last single crochet round, we're gonna be doing the tentacles. So for the tentacles, you're gonna be working in the front loop. So not the complete stitch like this, just the front loop. So you're gonna start with a slip stitch, and then you're gonna be chaining 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now you have 12 chains, and you're gonna be slip stitching back into each of the chains. So from the second chain next to the hook, you're gonna be slip stitching in every single chain. Okay, so just to be clear, we're staying in the front loops. So once you're done slip stitching back to your front loop, you slip stitch in the same front loop, and then in between your tentacles, you're gonna be slip stitching just 1 stitch in the front loop, and then in the next one you're going to be doing a tentacle, and you would be normally able to repeat that step 6 times, so you have 6 tentacles. So I'm going to be doing the next one with you because the way I did it before wasn't right. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So So I'm gonna meet you back once I finish all the tentacles. Once I finish all the tentacles, and do remember there is one front loop slip stitch in between each of them. Okay, so that's what it looks like with 6 tentacles done. So now what we're gonna do to close this up, we're gonna be okay, so that's my loop that I left on the last stitch. We're gonna be going into those back loops that we left, and we're gonna be doing 6 decreases in them to hopefully make the fastening up a lot easier. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last one, wait, 6. So that's my first one, that's my second one. There we go. Now I'm going to be putting the stitch marker on the loop before I fasten this off to stuff the middle of the octopus, or whatever you call this, to make it a little bit sturdier so it stands up a lot more nicely. And so I'm gonna stuff it some more, just a little bit more, because I do not feel like making them too squishy is any good for them, because no matter what you do, they're gonna eventually get pretty squishy if you play or make them so that they can be sold. So now I'm gonna leave about like the length of my crochet hook in yarn in tail, so I can fasten this off. Okay, so that's when you might need either your darning needle, but what I like to use is my crochet hook for fastening off projects. So I'm gonna be pulling my tail through my loop that I just made there's gonna be a loop left anyway. So now I'm gonna tighten it. Now I'm gonna go in each stitch and pull the tail in. And then once it has been in pretty much all the stitch, I take the last stitch on my hook and the stitch right next to it, and I just pull my tail through both so it closes up pretty nicely. And this is just excess stuffing, so it's pretty closed up right now. And then you can just put your hook in a random spot, and then you put it like right here, and then you pull the tail through. Then you can cut the tail off and tuck it in. I like to use my darning needle for that. So I cut it and then I push it in like this. And then you get this beautiful octopus. So that's how it should look. There we go. I use pretty soft yarn for this one. So Sometimes if the tentacles don't curl enough for your taste, you can just like twist them around your fingers, and they do that. I think it looks pretty good like this though. So this is how you make my little octopus. So you can make it in multiple colors. This is another one of them, and this is my other one. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and remember, don't slip stitch your way through life because it might get hard. Have a good one and see you in the next video. Bye!